Hi guys, I'm here to bring you your This Week at Axis video for the week of June 16th to June 20th. So for all of our lifts this week, we are going to be maxing out in class. So be prepared to max out your back squat, your bench press, and your deadlift. Getting into our workouts for the week, starting on Monday, after we back squat, we are going to be doing an EMOM 10, and there's going to be two movements. So minute 1 will be 50-foot single arm overhead walking lunges, and minute 2 will be 30 seconds of push-ups. So for the 50-foot single arm walking lunges, you're going to do 25-foot walking lunges with your left arm, and then 25-foot with your right arm, or if you're left-handed, you vice versa. Start with your weak side, and then move to your strong side. And to scale this workout, you can scale the weight as needed for the single arm overhead walking lunges. You could do 50-foot walking lunges without holding it overhead, so you could hold it like a goblet if you need to. You can scale the distance, so maybe a 25-foot walking lunge, again, holding it like a goblet. And for the push-ups, we can scale it to 30 seconds of box push-ups. On to Tuesday. We're going to spend a little bit of time, about 10 minutes, working on our Turkish get-ups. This does not necessarily have to be a max out scenario. So this could just be time for you to practice the movement, really dial in the steps for it. But if you're feeling good and you'd like to go for a heavy single or maybe even try to get a PR, you can, but it's not a requirement for Tuesday. And then we have what I'm calling consistency is key. So in 3 minutes, you're going to complete as many rounds and reps as possible of 30 double unders, 20 American kettlebell swings, and 10 burpees. And then you'll rest for 1 minute. And then you're going to repeat that for a total of 5 rounds. So we have a 3-minute AMRAP, rest for a minute, repeat. So the way it's going to be set up in SugarWOD, you'll have 5 different spots to log your rounds and reps. And your goal is to remain consistent throughout. So you shouldn't be getting, I'm just going to throw out a random number, 5 rounds the first time through, but then only able to get 1 round the remaining times through. I'd be more impressed if you're able to stay consistent. To scale this one, you can scale the double unders to 60 single unders, or if you're still working on your jump roping, I don't really want you hung up on the jump ropes for much more than 30 seconds, so you could scale to 30 seconds of working on your jump rope. You can scale the weight of the kettlebell for the kettlebell swings, and if you need to scale the 10 burpees to 5 burpees to allow yourself to keep moving, you can go ahead and do that as well. On Wednesday, after we bench press, we're going to have 2 Tabatas. So Tabata number 1 will be dumbbell strict press and dumbbell bent over rows. Then we'll rest for 2 minutes and we'll go into Tabata number 2, which will be weighted pull-ups and ring dips. So there's a good chance that the class will be split in half between Tabata number 1 and Tabata number 2. You're going to stick with those 2 movements the entire time, rest for 2 minutes, and then switch over to the other one. Scaling, so there's no RX weight for the dumbbell strict press and the dumbbell bent over row workout. Just choose a weight that is appropriately challenging for you. And there's also no RX weight for the weighted pull-ups. Again, choose a weight that's appropriately challenging for you. To scale the weighted pull-ups, you can do strict pull-ups, banded pull-ups. I think I also put jumping negatives in there. Yes, you can do jumping negative pull-ups or dumbbell plank rows instead of ring rows, because we're going to have ring dips in this as well. So you'll do dumbbell plank rows in place of the ring rows. And you can scale the ring dips to banded ring dips, bench dips, or overhead tricep extensions. So that's Wednesday. On Thursday, we have a chipper with a little bit of a twist here. Nothing too crazy, but is a chipper, and it will be 50 wall ball shots, 40 sit-ups, 30 sandbag front squats, 20 sandbag plank pull-throughs, and 10 wall walks. But the catch here is that you are going to run 400 meters every time you complete a movement. So you'll do 50 wall ball shots, run 400 meters, 40 sit-ups, run 400 meters, etc., etc. Scaling options for this one. You can scale the weight of the medicine ball, or if you maybe have an injury or something, you can do push press. If maybe you have a hip or knee injury, you can just do air squats if you need to. You can scale the weight of the sandbag or perform dumbbell front squats or goblet squats for the sandbag front squats. You can scale the weight for the plank pull-throughs, or you can perform shoulder taps. And the way we're counting the plank pull-throughs for this is left plus right equals 1. So it's not going to be 1, 2, 3. It's going to be 1, 1, 2, 2, so on and so forth. And for the wall walks, we are going to scale that to 20 inchworms. And then you can scale the 400-meter run to a 200-meter run. And then, as usual, if you need to scale the number of reps, scale the number of reps as needed to keep yourself moving. Your goal is to complete this around the 25-minute mark. But that's Thursday. And then lastly, on Friday, after we deadlift, we're going to have 5 rounds for time of 20 sumo deadlift high pulls and 10 kipping pull-ups. So you can scale the weight as needed on the sumo deadlift high pulls. These are going to be done with a kettlebell. And you can scale the kipping pull-ups to jumping negative pull-ups or ring rows. Again, try to get this one in about 10 minutes. But that's all I have for you guys for the workouts for this week. If you have any questions, reach out to accessstrengthtraining@gmail.com. And I hope you guys have a great week.